Welcome to ECU Flash Evo 10 Training Part 20. In this video, we're going to take a look at tuning and working with ethanol-based fuels. Now, this is going to assume that we're not going to be doing flex fuel control. We're going to have a specific video coming up looking at our Tefra V3 style ROM that has flex fuel control using a flex fuel sensor. So this is assuming you have a consistent ethanol blend in your fuel system. There are specific tables and things we need to program and work with. I'm going to show you what tables to touch and what ones you don't have to worry about in this video. We're also going to be taking a look at our Excel calculator that's going to help us figure out what we need to change our fuel injector scalar to when we're running a certain blend of ethanol, as well as our cranking fuel tables. Those will have to be updated and changes, especially on the colder coolant temperatures, so that we have the engine start up just like it would on petrol-based fuels. We're gonna have a lot to cover, so let's jump into this video so we can get started. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna be taking a look at tuning with ethanol-based fuels in our Evo 10 applications. When we tune with an ethanol-based fuel, we typically would want to run a flex fuel sensor. Now, in order to run a flex fuel sensor and to run flex fuel control, we need to upgrade to a Tefra V3 style ROM. So this video, I'm going to be assuming you're not running a Tefra V3 ROM. We're not running a flex fuel sensor. You simply want to fill up your fuel system with ethanol, and you're not going to be varying the ethanol content as you're going and operating your vehicle. So you're not going to be going and filling up between 93 octane and E85. You're just going to consistently run E85. So this is going to allow us to run a standardized ROM, and we don't need to pay that upgrade to the Tefra V3 and go in with the flex fuel sensor. If you want to have the ability to go and run any kind of ethanol blend in your fuel system, you have to go then run a flex fuel sensor, and then you have to run the Tefra V3 ROM, which we're going to be covering in the training course here. But I wanted to make a dedicated video because it's something that I've ran into a whole bunch of times. Somebody has a dedicated car, a track car, that they have a consistent supply of ethanol, and they're not interested in dealing with a flex fuel tune. They simply can just run a standardized ROM. So that's what I wanted to cover and go over in this video. So let's talk about the largest differences between an ethanol fuel and a petrol-based fuel, the things that we need to know in order to properly start to calibrate our normal file that we would be tuning with on petrol fuel if we wanted to switch it over to an ethanol-based fuel. So when we're talking about ethanol-free petrol-based fuels, so 91, 93 octane that has 0% ethanol, we're going to find it has a stoichiometric about pure ethanol, or E98, that's going to be the highest content that we can have in our fuel system. We're going to find that that's 9:1 air fuel on the stoichiometric ratio. So if we're looking at the difference between those, the stoich points, that's going to be approximately 38% difference. And if we're moving between our different ethanol blends, let's say we're going to 50% ethanol or E85, we're going to find that that percentage multiplier is a linear difference, or a linear multiplier, meaning we can just simply scale out our fuel values or our injector pulse width by a percentage to get our fuel delivery back in line. So it's actually really simple to tune with our ethanol fuel, and we'll find that there's not a lot of things that we really need to know, but there's going to be some specific tables that we need to alter and make sure we understand how to work with. So let's go and take a look at those right now, knowing that there's about a 38% linear difference between our ethanol blend points or ethanol contents as we go from 0 to approximately 98% ethanol. So if we jump into our current ROM metadata, the file I'm working with is going to be a 2010 Evo 10 SST file. It's going to be a 55580005. This file is going to be really nothing special about it. You'll find that what we're looking at in this video with this particular ROM file is going to be applicable to all the Evo 10 files. So you can just open up whatever you want. You can open up your file if it's going to be different from this. Let's go down to our current ROM metadata, and we're going to specifically go and be taking a look at our timing area here and also our fuel values here. And let's talk about our fuel values first. That's the most important thing that we get right, because the engine just simply won't run. We could run our values in our timing tables here, just as we find in our high and low octane tables, just as we found on 91 or 93 octane petrol fuel. We don't necessarily have to change those right off the bat to get the engine up and running on ethanol, but we definitely have to go and change our fuel. So there's going to be a few specific tables that we are going to be referencing here and working with. If we're moving down, we're going to find that we have our fuel injector scaling. This is going to be one of the biggest impacts when we run our ethanol-based fuel. We're also going to find we have our cranking fuels here. So if we take a look down here, we're going to find our cranking enrichment IPW adder table, and then our cranking IPW. Now, we've talked about this in a separate video when we were talking about if we change our injector size. I had an Excel spreadsheet that allowed us to just go pop in the new size of injector that we're running, and then scale out our tables that we can copy and paste between these tables here. Now, I went back into that calculator and I've enhanced it. So we're going to go take a look at that. It's going to allow us to compensate
and take a look at our ethanol fuels and also what we need to scale out.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.